So imagine this. You get a letter and it's incredibly heartfelt, super personal, but it's from someone you have never, ever met. That's the really fascinating situation right at the center of the text we're digging into today. We're going to unpack how a single message could build such a powerful bond across huge distances.
All right, here's a quick look at where we're going. We'll kick things off by exploring how our relationship can even exist, let alone thrive, without a face-to-face meeting. Then we'll look at the very real results it produced, and we'll wrap up by seeing how this nearly 2,000-year-old story connects right to your life today.
Okay, let's jump right in with what is, without a doubt, the most intriguing fact about this whole letter. The writer, the Apostle Paul, is pouring his heart out to an entire community of people he's never actually met in person. Now, to really get how weird this is, just think about his letter to the church in Philippi. I mean, he had a long shared history with them, but the Colossians? Nope. He only knew about them through the grapevine. So what on earth could be the source of such a strong, positive connection? So if it wasn't some shared past or personal memories, what was the foundation for this powerful, long-distance relationship? Well, the answer isn't in who they knew, but in what they had all experienced. Paul's thankfulness wasn't just some vague, happy feeling. No, he points to 3 specific, real-world results that he heard were showing up in their community. He calls these things the fruit of the gospel message that they had taken to heart. He zeroes in on 3 core virtues. These were the signs, the proof, that the message was actually changing them from the inside out. And here they are: faith, love, and hope. You know, if you've read any of Paul's other writings, this little trio probably sounds super familiar. He brings them up again and again as the core evidence of a genuinely transformed life. And by the way, that phrase, love for all the saints, that's just his way of saying a deep-seated love for all their fellow believers. Now, this next part is a really crucial point. Notice that Paul doesn't say, wow, I'm so impressed with your amazing faith. Not at all. Instead, he thanks God for them. The idea here is that these virtues aren't seen as some kind of human achievement to be proud of, but as divine gifts that you should be thankful for. Okay, so what's the engine driving all of this? What is it about this specific message, the gospel, that gives it this incredible power to produce such life-changing results, even in people the speaker has never met? Well, Paul gives it a special name, the word of truth. And this isn't just some poetic flair. It's a direct claim about where this message comes from, that it's fundamentally different from any human philosophy or bright idea. And that distinction is absolutely critical. You know, human words are best philosophies. They can inspire us, they can teach us, but they have limits. The word of truth, on the other hand, is presented as something entirely different, a living, active force that, as Paul says somewhere else, literally works in you who believe. So here's the bottom line. The message isn't just about life or giving you tips for a better life. The claim is that the message itself creates spiritual life and growth, wherever it's truly heard and believed. All right, now let's zoom out. We've been focused on this one little community in Colossae, but let's look at the incredible impact this powerful message was having on a much, much bigger stage. So right here, Paul makes a claim that, for his time, is just wow. It's absolutely breathtaking. He says that the very same fruit-bearing and growth he's hearing about in Colossae is happening everywhere, all over the world. This really puts that wild claim into perspective. We're talking about a time frame of only about 30 years. That's it, just a single generation. And in that incredibly short time, this message went from a tiny handful of followers in Jerusalem to becoming a known phenomenon across what they considered the whole world. So you have to ask, how did that happen so fast? I mean, sure, historians will correctly point to practical things, like the amazing Roman road system and how they could circulate letters. But the argument in the text is that the real engine behind this explosive growth wasn't infrastructure. It was the divine power inside the message itself, creating brand new spiritual life in everyone who heard it. And that brings us to our final stop. Let's take this huge, world-changing story and bring it all the way back down to where it started, and the reason it was written in the first place, the hope it offers to each and every individual. Paul reminds his readers that their ability to have faith and to love, well, it doesn't just come from them trying really hard. It's anchored to something solid, a secure future promise. He calls it a hope that is literally being stored up for you. So we've seen how this powerful message created faith, love and hope in a place the writer had never even been, and how it then spread across the globe. And it all comes back to this personal anchor of hope. So, we'll end with the question the text leaves us with. What does this stored up hope really mean for you personally? It's a pretty good question to chew on. Thanks for joining this explainer.